Why? Tell me why?
Why? Every Wednesday, right around 4 o'clock, we play a little game called Why. Goz serves them up, we knock them down. The only thing you can't say is why not or why in response. And for anybody curious about this weather, we will have a National Weather Service update right after Wednesday Why, so about 9 to 10 minutes from now.
All right. Josh McDaniels said no to the Indianapolis head coaching job. Why?
Andrew no luck. Jacoby probably ate too much brisket. And the owner tried to pay him with a duffel bag full of cash instead of a contract.
And the AFC South is good. That's pretty much settled it right there.
Man, if you want to go with that.
Now, 24 hours close to now, the news breaking that McDaniels said no. Initially, I thought it was something to do with the Patriots, but now the more and more information I'm getting and hearing more reports, I think it's more about the Colts than the guaranteed job.
I don't think you got to choose. You got the devil you know versus the devil you don't. You don't want to move your family. You know that the East is a way weaker division than oh my God, than the Colts. I'm still dying over Woods. I just think everything makes sense for him. If he gets the slightest amount of encouragement that the job is his, he stays put.
Nothing changed over the course of the last month, though. Like, that's what gets me a little confused. Like, everyone says he's going to the Colts. He's going to the Colts. Season ends. Are you sure you want to go to the Colts? Like, the Patriots could have talked to him. He's on their staff. They could have done this for a long time if they didn't want him to go.
Well, how about this? Everybody's just going, you don't have enough evidence that there's a rift just because they traded Garoppolo, just because they traded Brissett, just because Malcolm Butler was benched, just because everyone's leaving, just because of this, just because Brady's friend has been kicked out of the locker room. But if I put all that together, I think there's a rift, man. And I think it's pretty clear there's a rift. And look, if I'm McDaniels, I'm sitting there and I most likely have Kraft on my side. And there's nothing really telling me that Belichick's against me. Belichick understands business. Hey, Bill, man, I love you. You've been a great mentor to me. You took me back when you wouldn't take back Mangenius and all those. But old man Kraft says that your job is mine when you walk, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm a vulture. I'm going to sit right here.
The New York Knicks traded Willie Herman Gomez. Why?
Because there is nothing left to play for.
This was the closest of almost a year and a half we've been doing this, and I almost answered with why not. Because the Knicks got nothing else left. Like, Porzingis gets hurt. I'm going to get to Porzingis here in a second, but we've known for weeks that the Knicks had too much depth at the forward and center position. So if he's not playing and you feel like your team can get better, go ahead and make the move. The second-round draft picks, though, man, it's really tough in the NBA to get a really good second-round player. Like, sometimes it's such hit and miss in the second round where you'll draft a guy who was really good in college, and he may only give you 2 solid years in the NBA and then beyond the league and be hanging out in the G League for his next break.
But you could easily find a Willie Herman Gomez in the second round.
Yeah, from a different country.
And
You're
now
right.
I can get
That's true.
two.
Yeah.
Now I get 2 of them. So I get Willie and Herman Gomez.
His teammate, or at least his former teammate, Kristaps Porzingis. Quit laughing. I heard what you said. Kristaps Porzingis keeps getting injured. Why?
He's tired.
Now, don't do that after last night. The guy's going one-on-one with the Greek Freak, comes down the wrong way.
I think last night was just a freak accident. In all puns intended. You know, he steps on Giannis Antetokounmpo's foot. He rolls his ankle, and in doing so, twists his knee, blows out his ACL. It was a freak accident. And if he heals and comes back properly, you know, he could very well go right back to being that star you hoped he would be. We talked to Alan Hahn. We'll talk to him again. We'll play it back for everybody to make sure you get to hear it. I think he's got to switch to center. I think he'd be a nasty center in the league, especially if you get the right forward to go with him.
He's a skinny 7'3", 7'4" guy. It's as simple as that. His body does not work like people who are 5'9", and people who don't work like their bodies are 6'4". He's just a different breed. There's less than 0.5% of people who walk on Earth are 7'3" and 7'4".
But it's not like every giraffe has ACL problems.
I don't know. I haven't operated on a giraffe. Maybe they do, man. What do they say about horses? Like, horses' legs are a fourth of their actual body mass or something. Like,
if even.
Yeah, like, it's just the body's built differently. I can't tell you now that, hey, I get Porzingis is 22, but don't worry. When he's 25 and he's played over 100 NBA games, his body's going to be better. Like, no, it's just what it is. Like, when you draft big men in the NBA, this is sometimes almost a majority of the time what happens to some of their bodies.
Negative Nancy.
It's the truth. It's true. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers are unlikely to make a move at this year's NBA trade deadline. Why?
I don't know what's going on with all that. Is it because everybody is overvaluing what they have? Is that what it comes down to? Like everyone thinks they have more than they really do and isn't willing to be realistic when we talk about a trade that could benefit both sides? I don't know why. You tell me.
No, I think you're on the right path there with the answer about do they believe their players on their team are good enough or do they believe free agency is going to be good enough? The Lakers and Cavs are both in different spots. So, the Lakers believe that they can still build something in free agency and they're so bad that it's not going to help them. The Cavaliers are in a really, really tough spot. Because if this was the New York Knicks from last year, and how many Februarys have we gone through as Knicks fans that, well, this is the deadline, Carmelo gets traded. No, this is the deadline, Carmelo gets... Cavalier fan can't do that because
right.
LeBron James has flat out said he's not waiving his no-trade clause.
Right.
So you've got the best player on the planet, LeBron James, and he's likely going to leave your franchise, and you can't trade him. Because so many people have laughed about the idea of trading LeBron James and saying it's blasphemy. But if it was any other athlete not named LeBron and you had your best player was going to leave, we would talk about trading him.
Herschel Walker got traded. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Herschel Walker got traded. CeCe Sabathia, Sonny Gray. We can go through the list of baseball. Justin Verlander and Jay Bruce went for a bag of peanuts this year. It just doesn't happen like that in the NBA. I got two more for you here. Selection Sunday's Selection Show. It's on TBS this year because of the contract. It's moved from CBS to TBS the first time in close to 30 years. But Selection Sunday's show is now 2 hours again. It used to be an hour. Then it went to 2 hours. Everyone went nuts. Then it went back to 90 minutes. Selection Sunday back to 2 hours. Why?
Because they were able to sell, 32 minutes worth of commercials? Because your average TV is 16 minutes of commercials an hour, 12 to 16.
Yep.
So they were able to sell a lot more commercials than they thought.
I don't want your truthful answers. I can't stand it. I love Selection Sunday. March Madness is my favorite sporting event. I love it from noon to midnight. Your brackets are out. Even when I get beat by your daughter, the bracket challenge is coming up.
She's ready for you this year.
I can't wait. We might be start talking trash on Tuesday or Wednesday this year, going into the games on Thursday and Friday. But
she's been going to see Sienna women's games, getting ready, prepping herself.
Okay, but it was so bad for 2 hours. And I know what other people have said about it. They say, well, when you go to the Oscars and you watch the Oscars, they don't announce the awards till the end of the show. If you watch a good show, your plot finish isn't going to happen until the final minute. Yeah, but the bracket leaked. It blew up in your guys' faces 2 years ago when you tried this because everybody on the internet had the bracket before you guys announced it. All the deadlines and the newspapers and the local TV outlets, I think that's how they got it. So, no, just go back. I know money drives this, man, but as a fan, I don't want to see it. Last one here.
You're still going to watch.
Of course I'm going to watch it. I'm going to complain about it. I'm going to complain about that it's 2 hours long like everybody else on Twitter. Driving fast in the snow. Why do people do it?
It's really fun.
So dumb.
Look, man, there is a false sense of security about four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Because when you have it, you can get in and out of messes and it's fun and whatever. But people don't realize, and I'm going to give you the cliche. You ready? Four-wheel drive does not equal four-wheel stop. You will still keep going. You will slide. But I'm really good at it, so just stay out of my way.
Just drive slow. Okay, take it for somebody who drives slow.
Be
all
a
the time.
Goz.
That's right. Be a Goz. I feel like a PSA should be running. Be a Goz in the snow. Drive really slow. And while you're driving, continue to listen to 104.5 The Team.
Goz's spirit animal is a sloth.
Uh-huh. And guess what? That sloth rarely gets injured. That's Wednesday Why, right?
That's it? All right.
Sloths aren't injury prone.
Let me ask you a question since you love our bosses so much. Okay. Why are we here when they're all home because the roads are too dangerous for them to drive on them?
Levack, as radio hosts, our job is to entertain the people here in the capital region, and we take that very seriously. We don't get off days in radio and television. It doesn't happen.
If I can do a show from Minnesota, I can do a show from my kitchen.
You can talk to the bosses about that.
Yeah,
okay?
that's what I thought.
I love coming in here and helping out the staff and helping out the capital region.
You're such a jerk.
Are they listening? Do we know?
No, they're not listening. They're probably home sipping cocoa. It sure is not where Woods is leaving.
Woods just left.
Woods just left.
My own producer.
See?
Woods got sick of my answers and kissing up and he left.
Yep.
Woods, we got to come back another 2.5 hours. Okay, he's back. Thank God.
He can leave. I don't care. Let him go. Let him go. Save yourself, Woods.
Got 2 hours and 45 minutes left of the show.
Save yourself. Don't even worry about it. We'll figure it out.
And by the way, if you're driving and can't, your schedule's changed today, 104.5 The Team. Download the new app on your smartphones. And even if you're back home sooner and you don't want to miss the show, 104.5 The Team's mobile app.